The lie didn't arrive like a warning. It arrived like responsibility. And that's why I accepted it without a fight. 6 years ago, my mother called me after midnight. She never called that late unless something was wrong. Her voice was calm but carefully worn down, like she'd practiced sounding fragile without sounding weak. She said my sister, Emily, was getting worse, not dying, not yet. Just complicated enough to keep the future unstable. New tests, new doctors, treatments insurance wouldn't fully cover. She kept repeating the same phrase just a little more time. And every time she said it, I heard the same unspoken message: don't ask questions. The first transfer was just under $3,000. I remember sitting alone in my apartment, staring at the confirmation screen longer than necessary, telling myself this was temporary. Soon a rhythm formed. Quiet months followed by panic, emergency procedures, sudden setbacks, carefully chosen words designed to make hesitation feel cruel. I didn't argue. I rearranged my life around the wires. More shifts, fewer weekends, no trips, no plans that reached beyond the next month. Every time I thought about visiting, they gave me a reason not to. The timing was bad. She was too weak. The doctors didn't recommend travel. So I waited because waiting felt safer than risking the truth. One morning, without telling anyone, I booked a flight. No warning, no explanation. I wanted to surprise them. I imagined hospital corridors, machines humming, Emily thinner, tired, but alive. I rehearsed the relief I thought I'd feel when I finally saw her. I heard laughter before I saw the house. Real laughter, music, the sound of glasses touching. I stopped at the gate, my suitcase still in my hand, my body refusing to move. It wasn't a mansion, and somehow that made it worse. A gated house in a coastal town, fresh paint, clean stone, a modest pool catching the sun, 2 decent cars in the driveway, not flashy, not new, but clearly paid for. The kind of life you build slowly, carefully, when money arrives without questions. Emily stood by the pool, sun-tanned, relaxed, holding a drink like illness had never touched her. My father laughed loudly, confident, careless. My mother sat beside him, wrapped in silk, calm and unburdened. No machines, no fear, no guilt. Then my father said it like it was a joke, meant for family only. The idiot actually believed us. 6 years collapsed into a single sentence. I didn't confront them. Rage is loud, and I needed clarity. I checked into a cheap motel, thin walls, flickering lights, a place honest about what it was. For 3 nights I didn't sleep. I pulled every bank statement, every transfer, every email my mother had sent, invoices from clinics that didn't exist, messages written to sound medical, urgent, convincing. And the worst part wasn't the money. It was realizing how easy I'd been to steer. They'd routed my money through shell accounts, used it for down payments, car leases, renovations, trips, normal comforts disguised as survival. Over 6 years, it added up to more than $300,000, enough to upgrade their lives and erase mine. I hired an investigator. I stopped sending money, and I waited. The silence lasted weeks. Then it cracked. "Son, the hospital is calling again. They say it can't wait." I stared at the message and felt something new, not anger, not sadness, distance. Then I replied, "I'm coming home." They welcomed me like nothing had happened. Hugs, tears, familiar hands on my back. We sat in their living room, stone floors, leather furniture, everything paid for with my absence. I placed the folder on the table and said nothing. My father flipped through the pages, his face drained of color. My mother stopped breathing for a moment. Emily walked in, saw the documents, and froze. I looked at her. Was any of it real? She didn't answer, And she didn't have to. I stood. An investigator traced the accounts. The filings are already in. The fraud report is submitted. From here on out, every move gets flagged, and some accounts may freeze. My mother screamed my name. My father said family doesn't do this. I leaned closer. Family doesn't live off blood. I walked out. Nothing vanished overnight. But the next days did what 6 years of guilt couldn't. The papers came. The questions came. The house that once felt safe stopped feeling like home. They built comfort out of my fear. And I finally stopped paying for the story. Justice didn't feel like joy. It felt like silence. Want more stories? Remember the name Ashes of Us.